31-24 Chiefs.
37-24. Kansas City, 34. Tampa Bay, 24.
This is James post Super Bowl 55, and sorry for the quiet voice or the echo. I'm currently secluded in my bathroom trying to be quiet because Kim is currently sleeping right now, but I do have to give you my immediate post Super Bowl 55 thoughts, where Tom Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl trophy and his 5th MVP award. What the F? Yo, it's nuts right now. All right, Tom Brady aside, just looking at the facts, 7 Super Bowl wins, 10 trips. That's nuts, right? That's so nuts. Then you throw on top 5 Super Bowl MVPs. The only 2 where he didn't win were Julian Edelman and Deion Branch go off. Crazy, man, crazy. So, also, the Chiefs played like ass. The Buccaneers were clamping all night long, where the Buccaneers kept converting. They kept scoring, and it was so nice to watch because that Buccaneers offense in the first 3 full quarters were so dynamic and so electric. Yes, you could argue that the Buccaneers got bailed out by a couple penalties and a couple flags. So what? Those were true, legit flags that were thrown for the Tyrann Mathieu unsportsmanlike conduct and the offsides and the PI and the defensive holding. Those are all legit. I don't think any of the flags that the Chiefs got guilty for were soft BS calls. I think they were all legit, and I don't really think that the Buccaneers got bailed out for any cheap bleeping calls. So, bad play by the Chiefs, especially on defense. I've been saying this for 2 weeks, that the Buccaneers offense was so electric that the Chiefs defense was not going to be able to keep up with them. And if the Buccaneers defense made certain adjustments and made key plays, that they were going to stop the Chiefs offense, and they did. Tyreek Hill was clamped all night long. Travis Kelce went to the first down yarder and turned for a curl route and caught everything that way. But still, that's not how you win a Super Bowl. The Buccaneers defense took advantage of the weak Chief O-line, and they abused the backfield, where Patrick Mahomes was always scrambling and running around. There was one play, though, where he was diving almost down by a sack, but still flicked the ball 30 yards. I think it was to Travis Kelce, where he almost caught a touchdown, but I think Levante David picked it off. That was nuts, man. That was so nuts. The entire game was so crazy. It was so fun, and it just felt so good to see Tom Brady win, regardless of the uniform, regardless being a Buccaneer, not a Patriot. I felt like a little kid again, rooting for the Patriots and Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl with Brady and Gronk connecting on the first 2 touchdowns. That was so nice. That was so good. And then side note, if you follow Kim on Snapchat, you're going to see her story of a picture of my forehead and a cut on it. It's because when the Buccaneers were down at the 1-2 yard line of the Chiefs, and they were trying to run it in with Ronald Jones, my dumb butt was trying to pretend I was the running back and take the ball and dive ahead. So my stupid bleep hit the damn center console of the couch, and now I got a bump and a gash on my forehead because I'm so stupid like that. No, I wasn't under the influence at the time, or at least heavily, but it's so funny. If I can get a picture, I'll post it on the YouTube video so you can see it. And it's not bad. I'm not bleeding crazy or needing stitches, but it's just, listen, when the Patriots or Tom Brady in this instance are playing key, crucial games, I like to get involved into it, immerse myself in it. Like every kick, every PAT, my damn ass was sitting on the ground on my hardwood floor, pretending I was the holder for Ryan Suckup. And then, like, every key defensive third down play, I was pretending I was on the line of scrimmage, like I was JPP or Ndamukong Suh lining up, blitzing Patrick Mahomes. And then my favorite thing is when the Chiefs were going for, I think, their second field goal, I believe it was in the first quarter, I was pretending I was one of the guys on the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped. I was running to go block it. I almost lost my footing and ran into a bookcase that I have in my living room. Oh, it was so funny. But all that aside, Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Super Bowl MVP. You just don't get better than that. I understand people picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but how do you go against the GOAT? How? They beat the football team. They beat the Saints, the Packers. That team was clicking. That team was rolling. They were getting healthier, better, stronger. It was just, obviously, every and all pick for the Super Bowl was probably way off. I think everybody probably picked the over, including myself. 56.5 points in this game was 40 combined points. But, oh my goodness, it was such a good game. It was so electric. It was so fun to watch. And I literally felt like I was a kid rooting for the Patriots with Tom Brady and Gronkowski both playing for the Buccaneers. Just Brady alone made me feel like I was rooting for the Patriots to win. But, it was so satisfying to see Tom Brady win his 7th Super Bowl and his 5th MVP award. It really was. And to just throw it in everybody's face who picked the Chiefs to win, or everybody's face who thinks Patrick Mahomes is better. Oh, it's so satisfying. It really, really is. Those are my initial end of the game thoughts right now, but I'm going to turn it back over to current me, who's going to give you the full lowdown of Super Bowl 55, where the Buccaneers beat the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9. Current Murph, take it over. Happy Monday, everybody. It is officially, sadly, over in terms of football season. Hopefully you were able to enjoy the 2020 NFL season for whatever team you were rooting for. Welcome to episode 13 of Murph's Boston Sports Talk. This is going to be a little sad topic because this is the last time we're really going to talk about football, excluding the draft and free agency, but that's not for a few weeks and months ahead of us. But with the Super Bowl being yesterday, we do need to recap the events from Super Bowl 55. And like yesterday, I am joined by my wonderful, beautiful fiance, Kimberly Lynch.
Hello, hello.
So I tried to convince her to do the intro for this episode, and I thought it would be so funny if she was like, Happy Monday! But she didn't want to do it, which is totally fine. But we do have so much to discuss about the game. It was one for the ages. Some consider it to be very boring. For me, it was not boring. Babe, how was the game for you?
I think it could have been a little bit more interactive, such as the Chiefs only getting field goals. But it was a good game, especially with the first touchdown by Gronk.
First 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, my bad. Especially with that, because I feel like it brought back those Patriot days.
The Tampa Bay Patriots. Brady, Gronk, Antonio Brown scoring the touchdowns. Oh, it was such a good game. And yes, you bring up the field goals with the Chiefs, which is so interesting because they're a high-powered, dynamic offense where they can score at will. So them only scoring 9 points or 3 field goals, is that a saying towards the Chiefs offense playing bad, or is that the Buccaneers defense playing great?
Ooh, I feel like it's more the defense for the Bucs.
Okay.
Since, the Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. It's not like they had a bad offense.
Right.
So it must be the Bucs, the good defense.
Me personally, I think it's both the defense deserves credit and the offense deserves criticism. The Chiefs offense made plays. They pushed the ball down the field. They were in scoring. They weren't in the red zone, but they were in scoring position, obviously kicking 3 field goals. They had the opportunities to capitalize, a few incompletions in the end zone that they weren't able to capitalize on, resulting, like I said, in the 9 points, 3 field goals.
But that Bucks defense, though, babe, they played the best defense I've seen all year, let alone against the Chiefs' offense. I just think their strategy of doubling Tyreek Hill, which I've been saying for 2 weeks now, to put your fastest cornerback and safety top over the help, and what did they do? They did that exact thing. And what did the Buccaneers do with Travis Kelce? They put Levante David or Devin White on Kelce, and they just stuck to him. Yes, Kelce still had a relatively good game, but Tyreek Hill played like cheeks. I don't want to say he was bad. The entire offense was bad. If we're going to point fingers, you can point it at the offensive line or Patrick Mahomes, but the offense period was bad. Did you think it was, I know you kind of mentioned that you wish it was closer, but did you think it was boring at all? A lot of people do.
I can see how people can think it was boring. I feel like if Brady wasn't in it, or Gronk, or whatever, I think it would have been boring. But the fact that it was Brady, I don't think it was that boring because I was into it. But I can see how people can think it is.
So yeah, this game is, if you're not a fan of the Chiefs or the Buccaneers, it's very hard to pick a side. You're either going to root for history and Tom Brady or root for the second coming in Patrick Mahomes. And I feel like this game, if your team wasn't in it, then it was so dividing because either people wanted Mahomes to win his second and the passing of the torch from Brady, or for Brady to win his seventh. And there was like, people were just so divided and bipolar about it. Obviously, us personally, we wanted Brady to win his seventh because as he was playing out there with AB, with Gronk, you can exclude them. It felt like the Patriots were kind of in it because of Brady. And I've mentioned this before that Brady's an extension of our team essentially. So wherever he is, I'm gonna root for him. He just happens to be in Tampa. He could be in Jacksonville, and I would be the biggest Jaguars fan because that's how much I love Tom Brady. And I really think most of New England felt that same way rooting for the Buccaneers last night. It was a really good game early up until halftime. It was a 2-possession game. It was 21-9. What is that? 13, 14, no, what is that? 12 points? Why can't I do math? It's only 12 points. That's 2 possessions. And it was a really good game. I think the defense really, on both sides, played very well early. Buccaneers were able to kind of capitalize where the Chiefs weren't, and I really think that was the difference there because the Chiefs didn't lose. The Chiefs offense didn't lose the game. The Bucks offense didn't lose. The Bucks defense didn't lose the game either. So defenses played a big role in it. Halftime show.
I don't know. I feel like it was too short.
It felt
was
very
simple
short.
and short.
It felt very short.
And I know you were talking about this during it. If Drake came
yes.
into it, I feel like if that would happen, that would have been a lot better. But for this halftime show, I would have thought, because of what this year has brought to us, that would have been a little bit better. Okay. I think it was just simple. Which simple is not bad. It's just because of the halftime show, I feel like it could have been a little bit better.
So, obviously, I don't want to be quoted on this, but looking back at recent Super Bowl halftime shows, there's always been like either a surprise guest or a cameo from somebody. And this year there wasn't. It was just The Weeknd, and there's no bashing on him. I think he did very well. He played a lot of popular songs, and you and I were both grooving the whole time. But a lot of people found it boring, but I just feel like people just don't know either who The Weeknd is or just don't like his music. And that's fine, but you can't say it's bad for that reason. And I can totally understand the point of it being short. It was like only 20-minute halftime show, which recent history, it's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and it's almost like an hour long. And it feels like it's so long for the teams playing because halftime is usually 15 minutes for them. But instead it's longer. However, this halftime show was shorter, which I think kind of helped the Buccaneers to just get back on the field, play their game, and ultimately take control of it. All in all, though, I know a bunch of people didn't like it. They hated the halftime show. Me, personally, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought it was awesome, and I do have to admit, those masked dancers look like they were wearing tighty whities. I'm not going to lie.
Well, keep in mind, think of Katy Perry and her halftime show.
That's true.
That was
people didn't
crazy.
Like it.
I mean, yeah, people didn't like it, but I felt like that was more interactive and stuff. I liked it. I know some people don't like Katy Perry, but I mean,
we look at last year's with J-Lo and Shakira, and like that was a very entertaining halftime show for a lot of people, but a lot of people also didn't like it because they were quote unquote showing too much skin or shaking too much butt, and like
it's Shakira.
Yeah,
She's
Shakira.
gotta shake it.
I get it. I get your stance on that for kind of being iffy about the whole dancing from the female singers and dancers, but football, it's a halftime show. They're going to put on a show, and that's what they did. They played their songs. They played great music, and that's just how it is. Not every halftime show is going to be a home run. I think this year's was really good. Last year's, I can't remember when the last bad halftime show was. I really can't remember. Because the year before that was Maroon 5. That was pretty good.
People were saying bad things about Maroon 5.
People are going to say bad things about anybody and everybody, and that's kind of sad. Okay, back to football. Tom Brady wins his 7th. Thoughts?
Ooh, thoughts. I feel like the fact that it was Brady and not Patriots, which is okay because I'm still going to be a Brady fan. I hate the people that hate Brady because they left the Patriots.
They're idiots.
I don't understand that.
I'm just going to say it.
Because you're not going to root for Brady because he left the Patriots does not mean that he's a bad person. He's still a great quarterback.
Just on a side note, I don't want to interrupt you, but Brady left because Bill Belichick didn't want to pay the man and give him a contract that Brady thought was reasonable. Brady got 2 years, $50 million from the Buccaneers. That's $25 each year. And for Tom Brady, the way that he plays, yes, he didn't play good in 2019, but he had no one to throw the ball to. $25 million for a top-tier quarterback, a top-10 quarterback is a bargain. You're looking at Patrick Mahomes, who's making $50 million. Deshaun Watson's making $40. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, all the big-name quarterbacks are making $35 million, and Tom Brady just wanted $25. And you can't pay the man. I understand that the salary cap was tight, but you can easily have made moves to clear up, and you would have been in the playoffs this year. Not going to say you will win the Super Bowl, but you would easily been in the playoffs this year, but you didn't, and you offered the man 1 year for $13 million. So I don't blame him for walking out the door on you, taking his talents to Tampa Bay, and winning the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, babe. Keep going.
Also, especially since Tampa Bay had Brady, Gronk, and Antonio Brown, but it's just he brought a team who's not very good.
They sucked last year.
Thank you.
And years before.
And brought them to the Super Bowl. Now, keep in mind, we all thought that last year, would Brady be back? Could he retire? I know Giselle wants him to retire.
She's been wanting to retire for the past 5, 6, 7 years now.
But since he did win Super Bowl 7 and had Gronk in it, and the first touchdown was with Gronk, I think it would be not a smart idea, but like a legendary idea to retire.
I really think that Brady, he's been saying he wants to play till 45, and next year he'll be 44. It'll be his age 44 season, and he only has 1 more year left with the Buccaneers. So that leaves him with 1 year to go playing in terms of what he wants to do with his little map of life or whatever. I can't think of the words. But I do want to go off of your point of saying that he took a bad Buccaneers team. Now, in 2019, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were 7-9 without Tom Brady. This year, they were, 11-5. So he plus 4 wins in the regular season. Then he plus 4 wins in the playoffs. So what is that? 16-5. Let's just look at the regular season for argument's sake. He's a plus 4 in terms of wins. New England Patriots last year were 12-4. And they lose Tom Brady, and then they go 7-9. So, looking at the law of averages, Tom Brady accounts for 4.5 wins. 4.5 wins. You're in the playoffs. You wouldn't have got the first seed because the Chiefs were 14-2, but you would have. I guess you would have had to win the division. You would have been in the playoffs, basically what I'm saying. And you would have won the first round. Second round, I don't want to go that far. But 12-4 last year to 7-9. That's -5 wins. And the Buccaneers were 7-9, and they finished 11-5 in the regular season, which is +4 wins. Tom Brady is 4.5 game difference. And you let him go because you didn't want to pay him? This looks so bad, Bill. You better turn it around this offseason and make this team a contender. You don't have to win the Super Bowl, but a contender.
I have a thought. So.
You are a thought.
What?
All right.
Anyways, if Brady has a contract for one more year with the Bucs, correct?
Yes.
So that leads him to 44.
Yes.
And say doesn't make it a Super Bowl, but they do very well.
Mm-hmm.
What if he signs with a different team when he's
45.
for when he turns 45 for a year contract?
Yep.
And they go to the Super Bowl. But what if it was like the Jets?
I was going to say, could that team be the Patriots, please?
Maybe he goes back to the Patriots.
I really think that after winning the Super Bowl, after the end of next year, I don't think the Bucs will let him walk. I really think that they'll keep him retire in Tampa, yada, yada, yada. Florida, it's nice weather. I don't see Tom Brady leave. I mean, I said this in New England. I just don't see him leaving, but he left, so it's definitely on the table for him to leave. But I think at this point, he has nothing else to prove. I really don't see him wanting to take that journey to try to take a crapshoot team and make them a contender. I also don't see him going to the Jets just because it's New York. If anything, probably another warm climate team, just so him and Giselle can...
Panthers? I don't know.
Panthers, maybe? They got some question marks at quarterback. We don't know what they're going to do. But
I said Jets because the Jets sucked.
the Jets are miserable. They are dismal. But I think Tom Brady will finish his career in Tampa Bay, especially after winning the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, next year they are the second favorites, Chiefs being the favorites to win next year, followed by the Buccaneers. As long as you have Tom Brady, that team is going to be in the playoffs, a contender, and in Super Bowl discussions, however long he plays. He could play till 50, and teams are talking about, oh, Tom Brady and insert team here. Oh, yeah, Super Bowl. After the halftime, I know we're jumping all over the place, but that's what we do. Unscripted, right? So, after the halftime, the Buccaneers just ran away with they scored 10 points in the second half. Chiefs scored only a field goal. I'm sorry. It was 21-6 at halftime. I apologize. Still 15-point game, still 2-possession game. So the Chiefs were still very much in it. Then the second half, the Buccaneers scored 10. The Chiefs only scored 3 points, still a field goal. But it just felt like the Buccaneers were in so much control. They were in complete control on offense running the ball. They were in complete control of defense. Now, the Chiefs did make it a little interesting, gambling and going for it. Mahomes was scrambling out of the pocket, trying to make these big plays, which ultimately failed. Did look nice and flashy, and it kind of gave the game a little sense of hope and competition that they weren't going to roll over. And boy, that offensive line for the Chiefs was so bad. Mahomes was under duress the whole game. And there was one play where Mahomes was getting tackled. I forget by who. But he was literally horizontal with the ground, like parallel with the ground, and still threw a ball 30 yards that Travis Kelce, I believe, almost caught it for a touchdown. I don't know how he makes that throw, first of all, because that was a dime of a throw. But the Buccaneers defense was still rock solid no matter what. No matter how long the play was, no matter how much Mahomes was trying to extend it, the Buccaneers secondary was still locking down the receivers. The front four, the front seven of the Bucs was still wreaking havoc, making noise, and delivering pressure on Mahomes. From your perspective, how did Mahomes play?
Well, wasn't he, quote unquote, injured with his toe?
Big toe. Big left toe.
Big toe. Sorry.
He's going to have surgery on it this offseason.
Oh, I did not know that. That's actually kind of sad. Okay. Well, have fun with that. Rehab.
He's
Rehab
fine.
is key.
He's got
good.
$500 million. He's fine.
Yeah, he's set for life. He's good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there were good passes. He did throw well. It was just, our defense definitely was just there.
It was
But
all there.
there was either Hill or Kelsey, I think it was, either or, who was always wide open.
Kelsey, every time.
Which I didn't understand that.
Runs to the line of scrimmage, turns around, catches the ball. He did that the entire first half. And then, which I mentioned, the Bucs made adjustments, and they did. I mentioned, I think, on Wednesday, the team that makes the correct adjustments will win, and that was the Buccaneers.
Yeah. Well, I just remember it was like by the third play, it was like the same play every three. Like, it was ridiculous. I feel like after the second, you would want to change your lineup or something.
Try to make some kind of adjustment,
Something
changes
changed.
to stop, right?
Since we could just do that all Super Bowl long, the game long.
Yeah, I love your point there with him just doing that all game long, because he literally did that all game long. I'm looking at the stats here. He had 10 receptions for 133 yards. I've gone back and forth with Kittle and Kelsey. I think Kittle's the better blocker. He's just as good as a receiver. But Kelsey was super consistent late into the season, all postseason, 8, 9, 10. He had 13 receptions in the AFC game. But he goes for 10 for 133. Clearly the best weapon for the Chiefs all game, all day long. But looking on the other side of the ball, Tampa Bay, their offense was so spread out. Gronkowski, 6 receptions. Fournette, 4 receptions. Antonio Brown, 5 receptions. Mike Evans had 1 catch for 31 yards. Really nothing special out of him, and he's their best receiver, their best threat. But that's just how strong the Buccaneers offense is and how good they are with their weapons, that they're able to go to someone else. Antonio Brown, obviously one of the best wide receivers in recent memory, but he is their probably third, fourth option in that offense, and he's able to step up, catching a touchdown as well. How did you feel? I know Antonio Brown played 1 game with the Patriots. He was here in New England for 9 days. But how did it feel to see Antonio Brown, with his history, catch a Super Bowl touchdown?
I mean, I think it was good, especially with him. Like, okay, I know he has a rough past, and now that he has gone through, say, like, rehab and everything, and counseling, I've heard.
Ignore that. Sorry. The computer decided to play a clip from the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
No,
All right, keep going.
Anyways, I know he's had a rough patch, and I'm not a fan of him, but he is a good player. So, with that being said, he did well with the Patriots, and I feel like it was not a good thing, but a good thing to be with the Tampa Bay, because it was Brady and Gronk, which was Patriots.
Yeah, and I think regardless where Brady went, Jacksonville, there was rumors about Oakland, there was rumors about him going to, I think there was Carolina rumors for a little bit, there was Colts rumors, wherever you want to, Miami even, that was a big one in the offseason last year. Gronk and Antonio Brown were going to join him no matter where. I can't say that about Leonard Fournette because he was still with the Jaguars at the time, but either way, wherever Brady ended up, it could have been in Bumble Bleep, middle of nowhere. They were going to fall in there. That's just how it was. That's how it is. And it was so good to see Brady connect with those two guys. Like you said, it kind of felt like it was a little Patriot vibe, Patriot connection. Definitely served them well. That just shows how good that offense is weaponized. Like I said, being able to go to your third, fourth, fifth option. That's just how deep they are. That's how good they are. And that chemistry is something else, really is, especially with the whole COVID situation, no training camps, no preseason games, and took them the whole year, but they eventually showed up and played their best game, both offensively and defensively, in Super Bowl 55. I do want to jump back to the Chiefs, because I do want to correct myself. When I said Tyreek Hill had a bad game, his first half, probably the first 3 quarters were really bad. The whole Chiefs offense was really bad in the first 3 quarters. Then they turn it on, they try to make some noise. Ultimately, they failed. But Tyreek Hill finishing with 7 receptions for 73 yards is nothing to shoot over your head. But a lot of that is garbage time. Patrick Mahomes, 270 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions for your favorite player, for your quote-unquote best player in the NFL, and he chokes. This is a pure choke job by Patrick Mahomes. Babe, your thoughts on what I just said?
Now, do you think that he quote unquote choked because of the Tampa Bay and Brady and such, or because of the quote unquote concussion protocol that he was in a few weeks prior to that.
So I think that was going to
happen. Or the toe.
I don't think it's either, because if it was the head, he wouldn't be playing. I don't think he should have played in the AFC Championship game. He did. They're saying he passed and cleared everything. It wasn't as bad as they thought. He ends up playing. Great game. Okay. Now we're just worrying about the toe. Regardless of the toe, when he walks, it looks like he has crap in his pants. That's just how it is. But I'm not going to blame this on the toe. The Chiefs were dinged up on their offensive line, having their third string tackle out there or whatever. But at the end of the day, the Buccaneers defense made the plays with the 2 interceptions, tons of forced incompletions, stopping them on third down, bending and not breaking on their side of the field, forcing the Chiefs to go for field goals. I think it's a combination of poor play from the Chiefs, because I think they were a little ahead of themselves, thinking that, high offense, best team in the league, we're going to win. And then the Buccaneers defense really stepping up and proving that they have the best defense in the league, which they clearly do. And I will admit that the Packers also have a great defense, but they were nowhere in that NFC Championship game.
Now, your thoughts. Now, I see rumors, aka Facebook people, about
Word on the
how
street.
Super Bowl was rigged.
Absolutely.
Because last year, Chiefs won. This year, Brady's new to Tampa Bay, wants to make another Super Bowl, have another ring, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
So, it's so hard to go back-to-back in the Super Bowl, to win back-to-back Super Bowls. It hasn't been done since the 2003-2004 Patriots, and I think that's going to stand for a long time. Chiefs winning it last year, being so close to win it this year, I don't want to say it was rigged. I really don't want to believe that. And I don't think it was. There's a lot of people bitching and complaining about the referees handing the Buccaneers the game. But if you look at all of the penalties that the Chiefs were called for, they're all by the book. You can't hold as an offensive lineman, and with the Bucs defense so damn good and fast, you're going to end up holding them, and that's going to cost you 10 yards. The pass interference play where, I forget who it was, but it was a cornerback for the Chiefs, fell down and knocked down Mike Evans, where he slips and falls, where he couldn't catch a ball. That's 15 yards or a spot foul. I just don't see why they're complaining about, the Chiefs were called for all this and all that, and the Bucs weren't. Regardless if the refs, quote-unquote, fixed the game, you can't fix a 22-point loss. There's no way that the Chiefs can give the Buccaneers a 3-touchdown win. If it was a 1-score game, maybe 2, there's a conversation to be had there. But when it's 22 or 3-touchdown game, the referees aren't fixing that. That's just poor play by the Chiefs and great play by the Buccaneers. And every hater out there can pound sand about it. Whether you hate Brady or you love Mahomes and you wanted him to win, or you really think that this game was fixed, go pound sand. The Buccaneers won that fair and square. The Chiefs were a no-show, and they just straight up sucked. So those are my thoughts.
All right, then. More thoughts.
More.
I know how my prediction, your prediction, everyone else's prediction was a lot higher than what actually happened.
So the over-under was 56.5 points. We talked about that yesterday. What is that? I can't do the math right now. 30, no, oh my God. I'm not even going to do the math. Whatever, 56.5 points.
Yeah.
Everyone probably took the over on that, expecting it to be a 30-30 game, 35-28 game, 1-score game. But the under, it was a combined 40-point game, so 16 points were missing. No one saw that coming. I didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming. I don't think anyone listening saw that coming, because the Chiefs are so good on offense. They can score at will. Their offense is so high-powered. The Buccaneers held their end of the bargain. They scored their 31 points, and that's more than half of the over-under. But the Chiefs failed to hold up their end of the bargain, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't take the over-under. I don't condone sports betting. I think it's stupid, but sometimes we like to dabble with the gambling. I didn't take the over-under. I'm glad I didn't. And whoever took the under, good for you. Round of applause if you took the under because no one saw that coming. My goodness, 31-9, 40 points combined. It was the Buccaneers held their end of the bargain, but people still think it was a boring Super Bowl because the Chiefs didn't play well. Go pound sand.
Because my prediction was 34-28.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be good and a lot higher than what it was because it's Patrick Mahomes. It's Mahomies.
Yes.
And it's Brady. Two great quarterbacks.
Excellent.
Chiefs, great team. But I guess not.
Buccaneers scored 31 points, and everybody who had the Bucs had them scoring at least 30 points. And everyone who had the Chiefs scoring, winning the Super Bowl, had the Chiefs scoring 30-plus points. Well, you're missing a few points there, bud. I mean, like I said, the Chiefs had ample opportunities to score touchdowns where they settled for 3 field goals. Other times they were down in the Buccaneers' end, and they just couldn't either convert or they couldn't capitalize. I really don't think this game was a close game come halfway through the fourth quarter. I really don't. And you can't count out
Third quarter.
Yeah, right?
Third quarter.
Yeah,
Not even.
You could say that, but we have to give the Chiefs offense respect. They can score at will. They can score 2 touchdowns in literally 3 minutes. But that's why I didn't want to count them out at all during this game until it was like 5 minutes left and it was still a 3-possession game. That's a little tough. That's way too tough. And if you're a Chiefs fan, that doesn't sit well with you. You're angry. You got fuel for next year. You can't let this loss get the best of you. But if you're the Buccaneers fan or a Patriots fan, you're feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. You're feeling pretty good. And I wonder how all of you are feeling pretty good. Whether you were rooting for the Patriots. Wow. I wish. Whether you were rooting for the Buccaneers, whether you're rooting for the Chiefs, how are you feeling this morning? What are your thoughts? I do want to know. You can tweet at me. You can message me at Murphs_BostonST, where the ST stands for
Sports Talk.
Yes. If you're watching on YouTube, comment down below. I want to hear what your thoughts are. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, definitely like it if you may and if you can. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more. And is there any final thoughts, babe, before we wrap up this Monday's edition of Murph's Boston Sports Talk?
Just everyone be safe and enjoy your Monday afternoon. Hopefully you're out of work soon.
Hopefully, and I do want to say thank you for coming on for back-to-back episodes. It was truly fun and it was a pleasure, and I think everyone else kind of enjoyed it, and definitely want to hear more of your thoughts, because other than just me talking, I get to have a conversation with someone, and people get to listen to a beautiful voice like yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So, you are welcome. Moving forward, there may be a little bit more news about football and the Super Bowl with the coming days, maybe the coming weeks, but the football chatter will definitely take a big tone down with the Super Bowl and the season being over and completed. The next big news that's coming out are free agents and, the Patriots, who are they going to re-sign, who do they want to sign, trading, such as that. The draft is not for a couple months. That's down the road. But as we turn the page at the end of the 2020 NFL season, we can definitely look ahead towards the Celtics and how they're playing, the Bruins and how they're playing, and the Red Sox and their season that's soon to come. Babe, any early thoughts about the Red Sox before we wrap it up?
Oh, see, I'm not much of a...
They suck, I know.
Yeah.
Let's just call it that.
All right. Good talk.
Bruins, Celtics playing well. I can't wait to see how good they do after bouncing back from their postseason losses last year. They are both on fire. They're both playing very well and definitely have good chances at making a, whether it is a final run for the Celtics or a Stanley Cup final run for the Bruins. And if we're talking about the Red Sox, I don't see them making no World Series run anytime soon. So with that being said, thank you everybody for listening to Monday's edition of Murph's Boston Sports Talk. Kim and I have been having a blast doing this, and maybe if she wants, we can get her on a little more often, once a week, who knows?
We shall see.
We shall see indeed. But until then, until the next episode, I will. That's why you say see ya.
Oh, see ya.